This is a short video about Driftwood Garden, East Sussex, made to celebrate National Garden Day on 10th of May 2020. The video is going to talk you through both the front and the back garden of Driftwood as a private tour, as we're not able to open this year. Starting first in the beech garden at the front of the house, we're taking the walk that people would take had the garden been open this year. The garden's got quite a large collection of Agave Americanas, and it's got lots of marine ephemera around the garden, like that big lobster pot. Beautiful plants in the ground there, armeria, lots of marine objects as well, and agaves there. And just at the back there you can see the large rowing boat that's got plants growing through now. Lots of gravel, lots of plants, beautiful sculpture there that we bought a few years ago looking out to sea. Sea buckthorn with the glauca, Coronia glauca growing through it, and there you can see the rowing boat, which is falling apart a little bit now, but still gives some a nice feature in the centre of the garden. Some of those agaves we've had a long time, and during the winter I stored them in an alley at the side of the house because they're not keen on getting wet. Beautiful sea kale there with the white flowers, and we've just seen a glimpse of some rope that used to tie a ferry up in Newhaven, and there's some more there beneath the groin. One of my favourite grasses in front there, ponytail grass, and on the right there, bolota, which has some lovely yellow flowers, mauve flowers on it, sorry. There you can see the Coronia glauca. Looking out to sea there, the sea is 1/4 of a mile away, nothing between us and them, which means we do get a lot of wind in the garden. You can see the hellebore there growing through the boat, small lobster pot, marine buoys, and at the back there just coming up is a nice piece of metal sculpture, and then at the back there some Erigeron Covinskianus, rusty old wheel there as well, and another lovely Agave Americana. Just spinning around now, you're going to see the decking, which is like a small bridge over some water, which takes you through to the back garden. And the bench there in the foreground is a bench that my father had made, and it used to be outside my parents' house, and I brought it here recently. Perfect view on the decking now, as you can see, as the camera lifts. You can see again over the agaves, the driftwood, the sculpture. You can see the sea in the distance, and you can just see the lighthouse on the end of the harbour at Newhaven. Really, really pretty seaside garden. Continuing the tour through the garden, this is what visitors would see on entering the back garden. Step up into the first garden room, which is the pond. You can see the sun starting to raise itself, shining over the pond. You can see the gunner at the back there. Lots of bits and pieces around the pond, artist work that we've acquired over time. Looking quite gorgeous in the morning sun. Still very early in the year though, this is being filmed on the 6th of May. Ordinarily I'd have 800 pounds worth of annuals planted into the garden by now, but because we're not opening this year, I've only had about 150 pounds spent on them because there's only 3 of us going to enjoy it this year. But still, nonetheless, it's looking quite nice. 2 poppies in the foreground from the Tower of London a few years ago. This little corner at the back of the house, little rug there that the dog likes to sleep on. Lots more colour to come out in the pots, but still looking quite nice. On the main path up the centre of the garden, still again lots of colour to come out. Hear the sound of water, there's 6 water features through the garden. Green folly door there. And this area here looks amazing June and July when the Shasta daisies in the centre come out to full bloom. Lovely metal sculpture there. Walking back then up the centre of the garden towards the main patio and the summer house. Always in the shade in the morning. From about lunchtime onwards the sun comes out and this area is bathed in sunlight and a real sun trap. And then we've got 6 little ponds with some streams running down to the pond with some ducks there to decorate it. Just the sound of running water, and the birds love to bathe in it as well. In the gravel garden, halfway up the garden, lots of bits and pieces just put into the gravel there. Some ceramic stars, lovely groin there which most people think is wooden but it's actually a ceramic piece. Old wooden cart horse behind. Some ancient pots there and a lovely glass float that was donated to the garden. Lots of seaside touches like this lovely mosaic seagull. The yellow thing there is a wingtip of a Boeing 737 picked up at Shoreham Airport for a £5. Just adds some colour in the darkness of the jungle area there. Right at the top of the garden, this raised bed area, lovely square table, lots of palms, olive trees, grasses growing in the corner there. Large phormium and yucca. And here part of the collection of aeoniums and succulents that I've got. 3 main areas in the garden with succulents. This one here, one further down and one right down by the bottom of the garden. Always look quite amazing again with the sun shining on them. And the view of the patio from the summer house. Lots of follies around the garden, like this one here, the brick wall there with the mirror on. And in the closing moments of the film, here's just a panorama across the back of the garden taken from my office window. So I hope you've enjoyed my tour. Just a few pictures now of how the garden usually looks at the height of the summer, with images taken from June and July last year, just to give you a flavour of the colour that's normally in the garden. Only this year, as I say, I've not spent anywhere near as much money on it because there's only 3 of us going to be viewing it. So hopefully in 2021 things will be back to normal and people will be able to come and see the garden and enjoy it in its full splendour. So happy Gardening Day 2020.